Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We're right at the north end of Pattaya Beach. In front of you can see the Holiday Inn and the Amari, and to the left the Dusit Thani. And then behind us, because it's low tide, we can actually walk down, if we can get past the rocks. That is the south end of Wangamat Beach, and we can walk all the way up there. Most people don't know you can do this, but you can only do it at low tide. And the problem is I've got some decent trainers on or sneakers on. I don't really want to step into the seawater with the salt, so I'll have to climb over the rocks instead of just going down onto the sand. Anyway, what we're going to do is have a chat about mistakes. Really, I mean, there's so many of you guys come here and make so many basic mistakes. Even guys who've been once or twice or three times before. I mean, obviously not the old hands who've been here for years, many times, but just have a reminder anyway. But there's a lot of stuff you need to learn, really, and it can ruin your holiday if you don't do it right, So I think we've got past the rocks now, haven't we? Just about. What we're going to start off with is the very first thing that happens when you get into Pattaya, and that is your hotel. Now, there's two things about the hotel that you really need. Or rather you don't need, let's put it that way. One is to be near a bar which has very loud music till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, or anywhere which has very loud music and noisy places. I mean, maybe if you're an ardent party guy and you don't get in till 6 in the morning, then it doesn't matter, but most people are not like that. So you need to choose a hotel where you can sleep, and the other thing is you need to choose one that's not too far away from the action. So you've got to get a balance. You don't want to be getting a Bolt taxi for 15-20 minutes every time you want to get into the city and out of the city. It becomes a real pain. You want to have somewhere that's near but not in the very noisy area. So how do you do that? Well, I mean, I have actually got loads of videos on hotels, and cheaper ones, better ones, whatever, and you can have a look through there. But another way to do it is actually to try out a hotel first. You come and you just maybe go book for 2 or 3 days and see if it's any good, because you'll be kicking yourself if you end up booking a hotel that's right next to a really loud bar and you can't sleep. You really can't. There's some of these places, so you that's something you need to work out. Don't get a place where it's too noisy, and also don't get a place that's too far away if you want to be partying all the time. So you've got to have a balance. I mean, I just recently did a video on Soy 21, for example. That's far enough away. You're up near Third Road. It's far enough away from the action. You're not right on top of it and right next to the bars. That sort of thing. These soys which run off Pattaya but run up toward Third Road or onto Second Road, those are okay. Just keep away from the really noisy bars. And the other thing is, those are reasonably close. You can get a BART bus. A BART bus runs up Second Road and down Beach Road, or sometimes they run down Third Road, but not very much. So you Bolt taxi is fantastic. Download the Bolt taxi app, and that will get you to and from. But you don't want to be too far away, in my opinion. So that's it as far as just a little bit of advice about the location, really, of your hotel. So try it first. Come and give it a try for a few days. If you like it, you can book longer, as long as you're not coming on New Year or Christmas. Then you might have a problem. But just a little word. Okay, so let's move on to something else now. Now, another one, which is a mistake, e-cigarettes, electric cigarettes. It's very, very confusing in Thailand, because the actual law says you cannot vape in public at all. and it's a 20,000 baht fine. That's what the law says, of the law of Thailand, okay? But all the Thais ignore it, completely and totally ignore it. If you, say, walk down Walking Street, for example, at about 8 o'clock, when all the go-go's just open and all the girls are standing outside because there's no customers inside yet, you'll see after the hundreds of girls, you'll see dozens of them have got a strap around the neck, and there's like a little electric cigarette. It's sort of like a chunky felt tip pen marker size, that sort of size, you know what I mean? Just about a bit longer than a pencil, or maybe, but thick, and it's hanging around the neck. And every few minutes they'll lift it up and they'll have a vape. It seems like the Thais are able to vape anywhere, and absolutely no one cares. There's no problem, if you follow me. However, that is not the case with foreigners at all. Now, if a foreigner vapes in public and is seen by the boys in brown, they'll just take them to the station, and it's a 20,000 baht fine. Just don't do it, okay, in public. You can go up to the back of a bar and maybe do it, but do it discreetly, okay? As far as bringing your electric cigarettes into Thailand, they'll confiscate them. If you find them in your luggage, they'll confiscate them, and you won't have to get them back. They're illegal, and they'll fine you as well. So that is a bit of a problem for people. There is a way around it, and that's very, very simple. If you walk down Walking Street, you'll see there are dozens of touts who are selling the ping pong show and the Russian show scams. Never go there. We'll go into that later. But in one hand, they've got pictures of these shows. In the other hand, they've got a box of about 2 dozen electric cigarettes. Just the little small ones, like I said, about the size of a marker pen. And they're all different flavours, and they're selling them. They're not expensive, just a few hundred baht, you know. And you regularly see the Thais walking up to these people and buying them, and just choosing a flavour and whatever. And this is all done on the street in public with Thais. Okay, that's the difference. If you want to buy one, I suggest that you take the guy down an alley, and so you're out of anyone's vision, you know, and then buy 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, you know. That's probably the way to do it. Be discreet about it, as I said before. So if you're worried about bringing your own electric cigarettes through customs from the flight, don't bother bringing them, because you can just buy new ones and they last for a certain time, and then you can buy a refill for them and what have you, or you just buy another one, and they're very cheap. So, you know, and they're easily available, so don't worry about it. Just don't get complacent. Don't think just because you see these Thais all over the place vaping away in public that you can do it, because you can't, because you're a foreigner. If you're caught, you'll end up with a fine. Be discreet. I mean, I used to smoke, I know what it's like. But just go somewhere where people won't see you, okay? That's the way to do it. Now, I just mentioned before about the touts on Walking Street, which you can buy your e-cigarettes. Now, obviously what they're doing is there's more and more and more of them now. It's ridiculous. One time you used to walk down Walking Street and there'd be 3 or 4 guys. Right? Now there's like 20, and they're not only guys. There's reasonably attractive girls, there's older women, there's all sorts they've got now. And they're all holding these cards up with pictures of ping pong shows on, and I would never go. And it's also a complete and utter rip-off. They charge you crazy money to get out, and they charge you crazy money to buy drinks and everything, and then they say, oh, well, because it includes the show, and the show is a joke. I mean, I've seen it once just to try, and it's just a joke. To be absolutely honest, you better, if you want that sort of thing, you better go into windmill. You know, because it's far better, or kink upstairs, it's far better than these rip-off shows that they're showing you. And the other thing is there's lots of Russian clubs popping up on Walking Street. There's at least 2 or 3 now, and they're again very expensive. You know, if it's your thing, fine, but not advisable in my opinion. If you object to the horrendously expensive prices, and you want to leave, there's big bouncers on the door. You can't get out. You've got to pay. All right. So, just a bit of warning: don't bother with those touts. Don't follow them to down some back street and up some stairs to some little room somewhere where you can't get out. Don't do it, okay? It's a huge no-no. Don't go in any of those places. Just avoid it. When they come and stick the pictures in your face, just turn your head, unless you want to buy an electric cigarette. Right, okay, just a little warning there about, in my opinion, you absolutely stay away from those touts. Okay, what else? Let's see, what else have we got? Oh yes, don't assume that all desirable looking girls are actually female. There are some stunning looking trans ladyboys, but there is a simple way. If you're not sure, it's a real simple way to do it. Bit of psychology. Just listen to the way I put it now. If this is a lady, and you say to the lady, "You're a lady, are you? Are you a lady?" She'll say yes. Okay. If it's a lady boy who wants to be a lady and wants to be thought of as being a lady, and you say, "I think you're a lady," she'll smile and say, "Oh yes, I'm a lady." You know, that's a sort of, you get a very bland, positive type response. Okay. You transfer it the way around, and you say to the lady boy, you say, "I think you're a lady boy." You'll get a very similar response, a little bit, well, sort of thing, yeah. You say that to a lady, "I think you're a lady boy," and wow, what a different response you get. It's a, "Whoa, no, I'm not. I'm a lady, and don't even think about calling me a lady boy." It'll be a real negative response. So that's how you find out, because there's 2 completely different responses to the 2 questions, yeah? So that's how you do it. You say "I think you are a lady boy." That way you know straight away from the response if it is or if it isn't. The other way, you say "I think you're a lady," you get a very similar response. You get nowhere. Very simple, but a bit of psychology, but very, very simple. Another thing is, most people, obviously it's not their thing, most people. So if it's not, then just be very polite if they come to you, which they do, and talk to you. Be very polite. Never be aggressive. You shout, say, "Go away, I don't like you, you're a man," or whatever. Don't do that, because it'll cause a problem, and then you don't want that. You don't want to a stiletto heel buried in your head, do you? You know what I mean? Which I've seen. You basically be very polite and say, "Thank you very much. I'm moving along now. I'm going. Thank you very much. Goodbye." That's it. You never ever get animated or anything. Okay? That's the way to deal with them. Okay. What else? What else have we got? This place looks pretty fancy from the website, but I've never been in. Okay, next one. Telephones. Okay? And contacting girls and swapping phone numbers and all the rest of it. Now, this is how you do it. Let's assume you're going to use your main telephone. You don't have a second one or something. So before you leave your own home country, make sure the phone is unlocked. Okay? So you can put another SIM card in and it will work. Some phones won't. They're locked to a certain company or something. So your phone's unlocked before you arrive. You come to Thailand. When you get to Thailand, you take your SIM card out, or do it even before you leave. Put it in your wallet and forget about it. Your home SIM card. Forget about it until you come back to your own country. When you get to the airport, there's 2 or 3 companies. There's AIS, there's DTAC, there's True, there's a few of them. Have kiosks just as after you've gone through an immigration, all the rest you come to. But when you're on the way out, and you buy a SIM card which includes internet, and they're not that expensive really. You can buy for say a week, or 2 weeks, a month, or whatever, and they will work, and they will give you good internet and a telephone number, and everything will work on the phone as normal, but it's a Thai phone number, and that's what you need. And then you download the app Line, Line, which is a line. It's just like WhatsApp, except it's the one that everybody uses in Asia and in Thailand, in this part, in Southeast Asia. So every single girl in Pattaya has Line on her phone. Everyone. There's no exceptions. They all have it. Some have WhatsApp, some don't, but everyone has Line. So you download Line. That's the main way that you then contact with girls, through Line. You can give them the phone number if you want to, but Line is the way you do it. And it's so well set up. You just open the QR code and and the scanner, and she does the same, and you just pass one phone over the other, and it instantly contacts and gives you all the contact details straight away. So it's really good. It's a great app. Now, it also allows you not to give your home phone number, because I have mentioned it many times before. You really should not be giving your home phone number. I mean, these are working girls, yeah. You don't really want to, even though you might get emotionally involved, you don't want to be doing that. You don't, contacting them from your own country, and then they start asking for money, and the sick buffalo, my grandma needs an operation, all that garbage, You don't want to really go down that road. You should simply use the whole Pattaya experience as a fun fantasy. That's all it is. And then what happens is then you've got your SIM card, which is a Thai SIM card. It's limited in time as well, for 1 month or 2 months or whatever, and then it just gets deleted. So when you get to the end of your holiday, after you 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, whatever, and you get to the airport and you say goodbye to the love of your life on your phone, you then take that SIM card, that Thai SIM card, out of your phone, and you throw it in the trash can. And that's the end of it, until the next time you arrive, in 3 months, 6 months, whatever. That's the way you should do it. I know so many guys don't do that. They get emotionally involved with bar girls, which is stupid, really. You really should not be doing that. But some people are susceptible. What can I say? So if you do what I say, if you throw that SIM card away and you never give them your home phone number, then they cannot contact you and ask you for money for their child's brother's education, or, as I say, grandma's operation. They can't do it because you've broken the contract. That's the way you should do it. I know a lot of you don't. I know you don't. Oh dear, what can you say? But one thing, the Line application which you downloaded onto your phone will still be on your phone. Okay? So even though you then go home and you put your own home SIM card back in for your own country, your Line will still work. So unless you delete that, there is a contact way, And Line is obviously, it works internationally, of course, just like WhatsApp. So if you really don't want to contact, then you probably have to delete Line, because otherwise you'll have messages coming like, can you help me, whatever, online. So up to you guys, up to you. I made all those mistakes 20 years ago. I don't do now. Of course, I live here, so it's not the same. But you've got to harden up. You really have to harden up. You know, I mean, all the stories I've told you about guys being used and ripped off and all the rest of it. Everyone is true, all from personal experience. You know, and I did myself in the very early days. I was taken to. You know, so I'm not immune. Now I am, but I wasn't then, 20 years ago, when I first came here. But you've got to try to be tough, guys. Got to try to be tough. Yeah, talking about being tough. I'll tell you one way that you can test yourself to see how tough you are. Your newfound love of your life, your bar girl, that you've just found in a bar. Just when you're walking around, go into like Central Festival or Terminal 21 and have a walk around, and I absolutely guarantee she will see something that she absolutely desperately has to have, and only your money can solve the problem, and she's got to have this particular item. Or she'll just like expire. You know, this is what will happen. Don't ever take a bar girl into a shopping mall. It's a rule you don't break. All right, because it will happen. She will absolutely insist on having something. If you're walking around a shopping mall, even if it's only a T-shirt, you know, or a pair of shoes, she'll want something. There'll be something she wants. Or the worst is a gold bracelet or something, you know, a gold ring, whatever. She'll want something if you take a bar girl into a shopping mall. Yeah, so that's something you don't really want to be doing. Okay, another little added mistake. Don't do it. Okay. Another thing is coming to Thailand. In some ways, a little bit like going back in time. I mean, you guys who are older will remember the days before credit cards and everything were very, very popular, and the way that everyone in the West these days pays for everything. I mean, you just don't use cash, do you, so much anymore? I know I haven't lived there for a long time, but I do know that that cash has become something that you just don't tend to use. Now, come to Thailand, and it's the exact opposite. People don't use credit cards and debit cards. They use some online payments like True Wallet and things. But that's the Thai people. But the people who come on holiday use cash. All right. It's like it used to be in the West 20 years ago. It's all cash. Here is the same. All right. So, as far as paying for something is concerned, you have to forget about paying by card, like you used to. Obviously, every day now in your country, you pay by card. You don't do that here. I mean, I think in the last year here, I paid by card, I think, 3 times in the last year, and each time it would only be something like an international hotel or a hospital or something major, a major player, you know, not some little backstreet shop or a bar or something. Here they scan cards, they clone cards, they copy cards, they do all sorts of nasty things, and when you're back home in your country, you suddenly find that some go-go bar that you paid by card, a month later is like charging you for something. You know, what? But what are you going to do? You're going to go to your bank and complain about some Pattaya go-go bar is charging you on your card? It's probably not going to do that, are you? You know. The point is, you here it's risky to pay with cards unless you go. If you talk about a major like Hilton hotel or something, okay, fine. You know, a big hotel, big chain, or big C supermarket, or some major, or a bank, of course, some major player then it's fine. But everything else here is cash, 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 cash. Especially bars, gents clubs, go-go bars. Absolutely cash, cash, cash only. Never even think about using a card. Put your card in your wallet, in your safe, in your room, and do not take it out. Don't touch your card. Unless you need to go get some money, then you can just go to the bank, go to the ATM, or you can use Transfer with Wise if you can do it online. If you have a bank account, of course. If you don't, then you're stuck. You're going to have to use an ATM or something like that, which is, you get charges, but what the hell, you know, you're on holiday, you can afford the charges. So that is a major factor. There's a big change in the way you pay for things. Cash, cash, cash is king in Thailand, like it used to be years ago. That's a good place, by the way. But it's expensive, but it's lovely. Yeah, what else? Have we got anything else? Let's have a look. Now I'll leave you guys with the biggest mistake of all. And that is to get emotionally involved. That is a huge mistake. You really don't want to be doing that. If you tend to be a softish hearted person, stick to the 1-day rule. If you're a bit harder, you can run a 3-day rule, but don't go beyond that. Really don't. Not with bar girls. If the girl works in a bank and you happen to speak fluent Thai and whatever, okay. But no, bar girls, you do not get emotionally involved, because you end up being a sponsor and going home and then speaking online and every other day, or WhatsApp every other day, and all that business, and sponsoring and giving money. You don't want to do any of that. Think of Pattaya like Disneyland. You go there, you have your fun, and then you leave. And you leave it all behind until next time you go. Okay? Okay, so it said on the thumbnail there's a free surprise. Now, what that is really for the guys who live on the dark side, who don't often get into the city and would like to visit a few of the gentlemen's clubs in the city side. So there's a bar crawl, and it's totally free. And it's on the 3rd of October, Tuesday, and it starts from the Horn Pub on Soy Nern Plub 1 on the dark side. Free pussy wagon transport included, and a free shot in each of the 6 gents clubs you go to. So you need to put your name down. Go and see Harry at Horn Pub and put your name down. Okay, guys? Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Don't forget to look at Patreon if you love the uncut Soy 6 videos like everyone seems to be doing. I mean, it's been a real success, a real popular success. Anyway, please subscribe, like, share, ring the bell, and thank you very much for watching, guys. See you in the next video.